Unified welcomes you to the following presentation of the Midwest Esports Conference. Here at the MEC, we partner with schools all over the Midwest to create premier gaming experiences.
The most common angles that the operator plays. This is like second to only B long. Fight is likely having a leg shot, but they're too slow. Drury lands a perfect headshot.
Laying in the damage zone and them on out. Going into A form, look at Sake. Laying in the middle,
Sake?
laying in the damage. Going in, revenge for their honey.
No way!
Sake Wabe! Get the quadra kill!
That was
So it
great.
kind of sounds fun, so I'll give it a chance. And then we ended up playing in high school the next 2 years together. And we've been playing ever since. So he kind of taught me the game. We've been playing on a team since then, and then now we're in college, so we can't play together anymore.
We do love all the players, even the ones we shit talk. We love you all. We love you all.
Body
Soul.
Pluto looking for the plank. Trickster waiting, maybe looking for the steal. Pluto
Pluto!
has his engaged. The scatter of the week comes through. Watch Levi though. Levi hasn't been touched just yet, but the damage is coming through. The melt line gets melted. Jinkwall on a killing spree, and all of Ottawa goes down.
Why? Those don't go in. It goes off the sidebar.
Starting to come out. The flash is popped. The rolling thunder is utilized to perfection. And now it's all on Thiessen, but Thiessen just keeps on going.
Welcome to the MEC. Enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome on back to some good old MEC action. We're ready to get into the nitty-gritty of it all. We got a fun matchup here for you today on our little bit of a shorter day on things. Drury, Ottawa, they're going to be going head-to-head. Just a couple friends here. And joining me here is my friend, MEC. Logan, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing well. I've got Korean fried chicken in my stomach. I am prepped. I am ready. I've had a nice drink going on, non-alcoholic. Just had a regular drink, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Okay. You know what? I like to hear that. That's what I'm here for. But hey, we need to talk about the matchup, and also, real quick, talk about how everything is going forward. Let's go ahead and take a quick moment to look at the standings here, as we did take a week off for the MEC Clash to go about. You can see here decisively, GVU, Ohio Northern, and Purdue Northwest sitting at that 3-0. Ottawa Braves sitting at 2-1, and Drury also sitting at 2-1, while the rest of the teams are trying to still get themselves going into the season. 1-3 for Briarcliff, Cornell at 0-4, Cleveland State at 0-5. But we have 2-1 teams going against each other, and now this is a tiebreaker right here, and it's very important for Drury and Ottawa both if they want to continue their claim.
Yeah, if you were here last night, you watched Briarcliff Cleveland State with me and Mac, and you know that was a really quick game. That was a 2-0, and I think average game time was like 20 minutes or something like that. That won't be tonight. I expect this to go to 3 games really quickly. Off the bat. I think both these teams are really evenly matched. I'm excited to see this game. I mean, 2-1, it's a tiebreaker, as you said. It means that once we get towards the end of the season, if these teams still have the same record, that whoever wins this match here will be taking the higher seeded spot.
Let's go ahead and take a quick moment to look at more in depth inside the matchup is what I would like to do. I would like to take a moment to see, because we do have a little bit of a roster swap up that does come about here. Let me see if we actually have that up-to-date roster. They're getting everything set up for that, but to let you guys know before the words come across the screen, we actually have the birthday boy themselves, Riverside, playing inside the mid lane for Ottawa Braves.
Yeah, I mean, Riverside's definitely a different player than Blonde is. Blonde wants to play more of the control mage style. He's playing a bunch of Orianna recently, whereas Riverside wants to play a little bit more melee, a little more AD, some stuff like the Yone over in the mid lane.
Yeah, Kali is the big one I think of too, right, with Riverside. And this is the mid laner that they actually had made their run into round of 32, round of 16. But they have hard competition in front of them as we go into today's games. Drury is no slouch, and across the table, right, you do have Orion, who has had probably the most unique champ pool inside of the mid lane, playing a lot of the stuff, the big one being the Hui, which I've been playing actually a decent bit now. I haven't won yet on it. Orion, I need some tips and tricks. But is that unique champion pool coming into play from Orion. Orion could be something that could throw a wrench into Riverside's birthday plans for the evening.
The other thing I want to point out is Quick Slice has been spamming Jace recently. So I'm expecting the more tank style jungle from Kaiser, something like Poppy or Udyr ahead of time, and them putting a carry in the top lane like Jace and putting Orion on more of an AP threat in the mid lane. But both of these bot laners have been spamming Smolder. Yuno and Levi have both played like 8 of the last 10 games have been Smolder games. I saw Orion playing a Smolder game 1 or 2 in there as well. So they're definitely on the Smolder train a little bit. We'll see if it actually gets locked in here tonight. I know this is the first week it's enabled. I know it didn't get locked in last night, so we could see an MEC first Smolder get locked in today.
If it does, I'm actually curious. I'll be taking down notes on the build. I personally like the Spear Sojin Riftmaker into Leandri's build.
Yep.
I just enjoy that build a bit more. He's a caster for me. I don't see him as like, I don't like the Essence Reaver. You don't auto attack that much.
No, I like that build. Personally, I prefer the Essence Reaver, but into Leandri's Riftmaker. I think it's one of these like caster items first into the AP stuff. And AP allows you to get a lot more poke out in lane with the W, which is huge right now, especially before it gets patched on Wednesday, that they're nerfing it a little bit to help reduce his wave clear with the AP. But Doran's ring start on Smolder, even though he's going to do mostly AP damage, AD damage, his AP ratios are good enough that it's worthwhile to build AP items.
Yeah, it kind of has that great thing where you can kind of go a litlittle hybrid too with like the Riftmaker options and the Spear Sojin. It's pretty nice. So we'll see if that hype train is something that we get all aboard tonight. I'm also curious on what type of pairings you want to run with that. Both bot lanes have some very good champ pools between the two of them, and I think it should be just a straight up big old fight. And I feel like if I'm going to look at things I'm telegraphed to see inside this, I do think that the big point of contention, we've talked about all the lane matchups, mid and top are actually 2 of the big areas for me, because you hit on Quick Slice. Quick Slice has been this big carry player. Killian, whenever they don't get like the Rumble and whatnot, they do tend to default down to the Yordles and whatnot. And they tend to play the Kennen more so than anything else. So it does drive me into the question of what will we see there into Quick Slice, who's been a very big carry top lane player. And in mid lane, of course, because it's Riverside coming in, they're subbing in for Blonde, and it happens to be their birthday today. So I've said it a couple times. It's their freaking birthday, bro. Like, you don't want to get an L on your birthday, so I'm sure Riverside is going to be trying their heart out to get in the face of Orion.
The Riverside being put in, I mean, we talked about the melee, we talked about the Akali. Makes me feel more like we want to have something ranged in the top lane like a Kennen, like a Jace, like a Gnar, something like that. And then put in the bot lane this really hard carries. That way you use however Riverside it is playing as a dive threat, as someone who's going to frontline a little bit more.
See, we have our answers here. We're starting up the match here and go ahead and get into everything. Another fun fact is the fact that Hui is currently looking at being banned, and that will be a big one off the table from Orion.
What do you think the must ban from the side of Ottawa onto Drury is? I guess other than the Hui, since it's already banned.
Hui is annoying from Orion.
Yeah.
Orion's very, very good at it. I think Quick Slice's Gwen is actually where we respect as well, and Fat Cat's Bard. Those are like the main ones I think of.
Fat Cat's Bard was right up there on my list. That was the important one that I really wanted to talk about, because we saw it during MEC Clash. His Bard was really, really good. And then you and I had seen, we watched Drury a couple weeks ago. I don't remember who it was against, but we watched Drury, and the player on the other team played the Bard in the first game. It looked okay. That Fat Cat pulled the Bard out, and he was cracked on it. And it was a totally different Bard experience. I'm excited to see Fat Cat Bard if it gets let through.
The fun thing too is with that Ivern ban away, that means that tells me a little bit more of how they're wanting to play this. You were talking about the Jace top being a possibility, some of those more carry tops. Getting somebody who can facilitate is also something very big for Kaiser. So with Ivern taken off the table, Great stuff. And then you can also see, you asked me about what would I like to see banned away from Ottawa as well, from Drury's perspective. They've already hit 2 of them. Rumble, take it away from Killian. Belvev, take that away from Prod. That is Prod's comfort champion. It is their most played. Take it away from Prod. And then the next thing that you could probably do is you could probably get rid of the Akali if you really want to, or you could get rid of the Varus from the Levi, who's been having a phenomenal time on that champion.
Noting here, they didn't ban the Maokai. Which is a really, really, really good matchup with the Jace. If Quick Slice does want to push that down really early, that you can play Maokai Jace and an Orianna and feel really, really good about your top side of the map.
I like it. I like it. So you get rid of Azir. Ottawa has first pick for themselves. They lock in Ashe. So this is a nice flex pick for them too, as they could just give this the Flutz if they so choose. So I like the flexibility this gives them.
I like the flexibility too. I think Ashe is really good in lane right now. She can kind of build a lot of different things. They generally won't build her lethality. On hit is good right now. Crit's a little worse than on hit, but neither are bad. But both are pretty good. So I'm interested to see what they pair with the Ashe. That's Jax throw down early. That could be a flex, right? That could be a jungle Jax. That could 100%. Be a top lane Jax.
It pushes out the idea of something early too. Like, you don't want to lock in Jin Zhao now if you're Ottawa Braves.
No,
because they could just easily pivot the Jats into the jungle, and then congrats, you countered yourself.
Yeah. So this Karma I really like too. So the big thing with Smolder is you generally want Enchanter to help Smolder get through lane. You want to get up to the 225 stacks so you get the execute going. An Enchanter helps Smolder survive a lot in lane ahead of time, right? So this is a flex pick. Obviously, this could go top, it could go mid, it could go support. But if they do want to itemize into that Smolder here, the Karma is a good way to do it.
Yet again, Levi gets their hands on the Varus. You were talking about Smolder. Smolder hasn't even been locked in just yet, right? This is all hypotheticals. But something that is true is Levi will take Varus every day of the week if you leave him open. And I feel like this is something that teams might start to look at from Levi, as they've been performing, putting up numbers on the champ. Ottawa Braves, I imagine they might want to lock themselves in something in the top side. Get that cannon. I like that. Get yourself something that you know you're going to be secured on, because you know Killian's probably going to get banned out in phase 2.
Yeah, there's a lot of range going on now on the Ottawa Braves side, and just a word of caution against a huge amount of range on a team. If someone dives on you, it becomes a lot harder to play the game. So I'd like to see melees coming through for the jungle and for the mid lane here left, which we talked about this before. Riverside is definitely a player who likes to play melees. There's just not a lot of tank right now. That scares me a little bit going into the second half of the draft for Ottawa Braves.
Does mean a lot of positioning comes into question. With the Gragas, there's still another layer of flexibility. You can play this champion in multiple different roles. You can play it top, jungle. You can play it support if you want. And also mid lane could be a possibility.
I think the mid lane is a lot more prevalent now than the support is. Even more so than the jungle, right? Jungle, Gragas is in kind of a weird spot because his items aren't there the same way that they used to be. He liked to build Night Harvester, and that's just isn't a thing anymore. But Rocket Belt's still a good shout for him. And he doesn't have that same ability haste build that he used to have that a lot of people like playing, where you continuously use the body slam over and over and over again.
So hard to get ability haste.
It's so hard to get ability haste now, so it's really hard to play that kind of Gragas build. So you generally itemize more into a full AP tank style build. You can go Rod of Ages into a couple of different like high AP items. That's a Seraphine, and that's a locked Seraphine.
So that makes me think that this is going to be a Seraphine Karma bot lane. We were talking about this actually in MEC Pod when I had GVE Purdue Northwest. I had both Marquez and Castle inside of it, and we were talking about how like some teams, when you get the chance to do Seraphine Karma, you just lock in Seraphine Karma. And
yeah, it's a really, really good poke lane, right? And you get a lot of pressure off of it, and it means that you don't need to worry about your AP source. So Orion can now go play an AD champion, an AD carry in the mid lane. You could see a Tristana here really easily, especially against a Syndra. You have a lot more push early game, as Riverside blocks in the Syndra, which is not a Riverside champ in my head.
Yeah, looking at options, there you go. Prod is going to take the lead in, so there's relatively squishy composition does have quite a bit of ability to outplay. They have a lot of different skills to be able to get those moments, but the execution has to be there. While on the other side, yo, you could just take something to further support your team. Your team's got one hell of a wombo.
Yeah.
Oh!
Okay.
I see you, Orion. I put respect on your name. We got a Zed lock in. We do not get to see that too terribly often. It's confirmed to be a Gragas into the top side with the Jats jungle. Orion Zed is here to play.
Yeah, I think the Jax jungle is a good counter into the Lee Sin, right? That it was flexed the entire way. So I think the Gragas going into the top lane is probably a better bet for it. But this Zed, we're playing Protect the President. That's what this composition is with the Karma, the Seraphine in the bot lane. Once you get into a team fight, Seraphine W's, you get Karma E's, you get poke from both of them, the roots of CC just from the bot lane, right? And then the other three champions, all they want to do is go in. So your entire goal here as the bot lane is protect the President, protect the Zed, make sure he can continuously push damage onto the rest of the team. On the other side, Ottawa Braves, they don't want to go in. They want to keep you away, and they want to take you at range. The only two people that want to go in is the Lee Sin and the Kennen, and they're going in to stop you in place so the rest of the team can hit you.
I'm actually a bit interested in how the Zed facets into it. I get that Orion's a Zed player and whatnot that can come in here. But then you also look over towards the rest of this team, right? And I do think that the main focal point of Drury University here isn't well, Orion, of course, can be a focal member of this composition and could be very big in making Riverside be behind in this game. But this definitely screams to me that they have put their trust in Kaiser to be the carry inside this game, because Seraphine Karma together with a Jats is actually pretty insane, and it's going to rely on a lot of tools. They do have those. They have multiple ways to stop Jats from being able to go in. They have the Scatter the Weak. They have the Dragon Rage kick. You have that Slicing Maelstrom, which you're going to want to use more offensively. You have the Varus ulti. You got the Ashe ulti. There's so many things that you have to be able to disengage this. But here we go. We're going into game number 1 of this best of 3 here. And sparks are already flying on the Rift.
Not just her sparks flying. Zed's flying. Down the Midland. Looks like he's got helicopter blades on his back with those shurikens. I don't know how to feel about this. I'm not sure I'm there yet. TP taken by Seraphine, so 3 TPs over on the Drury side. That's pretty normal when you're playing Seraphine. You can kind of play the lane on your own. You don't need your support there a lot of the time. So you can play teleport just to get back. Over on the Ottawa side, nothing super wrong with any of the summoners they've got, but the barrier over on Ashe is a little bit weird. Just wants to make sure they can survive lane a little early. With the Seraphine and the Karma, there's a lot of poke there, and Ashe with Hail Blades generally wants to get auto attacks off level 1, make sure to get as many Hail Blade procs as possible, so hopefully the barrier helps the Ashe survive.
This becomes a very interesting case too, because I like the barrier, because you're this light. Let's be honest, as double 80 carry into double enchanter, right? You're going against a Karma Seraphine. Your lane sucks. There's not much you can say about it. For a lot of Ottawa Braves, I actually feel like their lane kind of sucks. But I like the cheeky strat coming in. Look at this wraparound from them. Plus, Levi are going for a wraparound to get a better trade here. They won't have to worry about fighting through the minions, and they can go for it. The problem is, both these characters do a large range of AoE damage, so they can just kind of hurt you on these trades, and they do technically outrange you. So they actually lose out on the HP department, but they do get to zone them off of that first initial wave.
And you can see Pluck's just trying to start to get the Hail Blades procs. That's 3 autos. That should be a Hail Blade proc. That's all they're trying to do here. The problem is you're up against 2 enchanters in the bot lane, right? Is playing on the Seraphine that has a lot of shielding and healing just to start with. So does Karma. Karma's starting with Mantra. I didn't see which ability Karma took first, but regardless, the E will come in soon enough that you can Mantra E and make sure that your teammates stay relatively healthy. Make sure you stay relatively healthy with the Mantra W. That was a good sidestep.
Yeah, it was. Pretty nice. I wanted to real quick do a quick update on what we have seen from Orion on the Zed. Let me tell you right now, this person does not ever drop a negative KDA game on Zed. It's actually kind of insane. I'm looking through Orion's stuff right now just because I wanted to know. As you can see, like a little cheeky setup. It's insane how his KDA looks on this Zed, but we do have a little bit of trouble in Paradise inside of the bot lane. You can see Fat Cat, they're in a troublesome spot. They want to get this dive off to get themselves off to early success. And then we'll find just that beautifully executed dive by Prod.
They had to give up a decent amount there, right? For both teams did. So you know how to give away the flash. Fat Cat is rocking the heal to make sure they survive in the lane. And both those had to go away and the TV back to lane just to make sure they could push the wave out. Varus and Ashe both having to use heal and barrier respectively. It's not as bad as that flash, right? The heal and the barrier are on a much shorter cooldown than that flash is.
Pretty big stuff, as you can see. Orion coming in here. Keep an eye out once they're able to find their mark to be able to get that shadow in, but this is really good from Ottawa Braves to kind of say, all right, these are going to be your weak moments. This is where you're going to be weak at. Let's go ahead and jump onto you. Orion using the shadow actually pretty early inside that trade, trying to get those procs in there, but
that is such an awkward interaction in the top lane. Gragas knocks you off a little bit, but Kennen also stuns you, and you just stand there and do nothing for a minute.
Good luck to be able to see. So you can see Killian trading yet again into the top side of the map. Not much else is going to go on side of the rift. Remember that Prod does not have flash at the current moment in time, so that will be a summoner that will be down for a good bit of time. Guys are getting rid of a little bit of that vision, but this vision that's coming out, I do like the fact that they have it in a nice defensive here, and there you go. You can see that the Zed is actually pretty insane.
Yeah, it's very insane. His flash should come back up at about 8-ish minutes, if I can read that timer correctly and remember things. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to gank him again, if Prod tried to just do the same kind of idea that Prod did before. They push this lane under tower and make sure the Lee Sin gets in. Up in the top lane, I expect Quick Slice to start soon getting a tier of the Goddess, just to make sure that they have a little bit less mana issues. You already saw Quick Slice back because there was not a huge amount of mana on him. And Gragas likes to spam the W in lane, not just because it's a good AoE, but because you get damage reduction while you're sitting there channeling that W. So it can help out with some of the Kennen procs, some of the Kennen Qs and that kind of stuff, just to make sure that Kennen dies a little bit less. And here comes Prod, just as we said.
Yeah. Prod just needs to repeat gank this, but Kaiser having the foresight.
Kaiser's
Look at how
there.
they sit here. They know that Prod is coming around. They put a ward immediately, jump onto Prod, and lay in a little bit of hurt onto him. His dive scenario is just not going to happen now. But taking so much hurt inside these trades is something that they've got to recognize. This AD carry lane, they can really put the hurt onto you if they start getting ahead, because you are these squishy targets. So poke is there, but you should be able to sustain afterwards. You can see Orion getting in the face of Riverside and saying, I dare you to hit the outplay button on me. See what happens.
Yeah, this is vaguely the mid lane matchup I expected. I just didn't expect the players playing the champions that they are. Right? If you told me the scoreboard was flipped, I wouldn't be insanely surprised.
Yeah, but the S differential is in the favor of Riverside. So Riverside is doing just fine. It's not shaken up by the weird matchup whatsoever. That actually is this really cool mechanic where when Syndra decides to hit ults onto you, you can ult to kind of dodge it. So I do like the idea of we might possibly see Orion go for that. As we see the Scatter of the Week going to Kaiser again. Kaiser's trying to make their presence known, but they're not going to be able to find easy access to it. Not just yet. The vision has been immaculate, actually, to keep a tracker on this chat.
I mean, realistically, there's no complaints about how any lane is going. The quote-unquote problem lane right now is your mid lane, where you're down 20 CS on the Zed, but Syndra's going to have to back at one point. Zed doesn't have the same backing issues. He's down about 500 gold, but right now that's most of the lead for the entire game. And Prod, while he's looking to try and get the scuttle, it seems to be a little doomed to start, as there's 4 members of Drury in the area.
Yeah, they wanted to fight for grubs. They rotated their bot lane up for this, but just the karma being there, everybody kind of chunked down. Waves are not in a great position for Killian either in that exchange. So and you can even see Orion decided to sack their lane to just go over and make sure that they got the grub. So you could tell that even though Ottawa had the numbers advantage with the HP bars, they would have lost members trying to contest that. They did not want to shift over any gold in any chaotic fashion. So a trade technically happens where Grubs go over the Kaiser, it gets all 3, while Ottawa got the Dragon just.
It's all quiet across the board. It's very odd. That's a Chains of Corruption.
Say that as an ult comes
out. Ooh, Chains of Corruption. But they do know Prod is here, so and Fat Cat should just be able to walk themselves out. That's the entire goal right now, is just make sure you don't die anymore in this lane as Seraphine. You will be generally a better champion than this Varus once we get towards the late game. Again, it's a protect the president comp. You want to make sure you're protecting the Jackson, protecting that Zed, the 2 huge damage dealers. Not that Seraphine can't do damage on her own, but she's not in the best of place in a damage dealing sense right now. I know they're changing some of it come next patch, but we're not on next patch yet.
Also, this is going to be an on-hit. It's not going to be that traditional like Pope Ferris that you normally see, which I was actually kind of anticipating a bit. I was like, oh man, this would be a real great like Ghostblade and the Serpents. But
yeah, you'd think, because I mean, here's the thing with lethality, you can do a lot of upfront damage. You watch any game with Varus and you see a lethality WQ that comes out, and at half health is one of the carries. It's insane. And Seraph Serpent's Fang has really good value in this game because of the double shielding bot lane. You've got the Seraphine who likes to shield with her W, and Karma who does it with her E. So both those would have been good options. I think the on hit though is to help with kiting, that you want to get more.
There's the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Nice heal to come about. Kaiser takes a huge amount of damage. Is looking to go back in with the Counter-Strike. The Counter-Strike gone is a big tool taken away. The Encore only hits on the 1. The Dragon Rage kick onto Kaiser. Kaiser taking a world of pain. Levi gets the kill. But check out the Cavalry as Orion finds the kill to scatter the weak hits onto the Ninja as he has to run on away. Getting chunked. Will go in, lay in a nice root. The tether is there, but Levi is just free hitting. The stacks of Blight have been stacked upon Fat Cat, and they're looking to execute him, and they will do just that. A double kill for Levi. A trade goes back to but all of that was in favor of Ottawa Braves.
Yeah, the winner of that fight by far is Levi, right? He's got 2 more kills on the board. He's 3-0-1 right now. He's getting fed early. I wouldn't be surprised if he had a Blade of the Ruined King on back or really close to it.
Oh yeah,
it's a huge help to him in this lane too.
Yeah, probably already has it too, right? Because you think about it, they bought the free boots. My favorite. Somebody just picked up, Keystone, Mastery, whatever you want to call it, just because of the fact that it's like, oh, this is just free money waiting for me. They get tier 2 boots off of this. That is huge when you're 80 carry. Blade of the Ruined King.
Excellent back right there.
It's insane.
Yeah, you know what? Thinking more and more about it, the on-hit build may have been a little better in this game. Just be
Mollywop Riverside. He gets taken out. He's marked for death. But over onto the side, Killian looking, saying the odds 1v2. They like him. Here comes the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Lays the mark onto the Karma. Kaiser still marching forward. You got to be confident on this champion. 1 for 1. The tether comes through, and Killian goes out. Another kill to Orion.
So quickly they make sure to turn that bot lane matchup, that bot lane fight, into something that benefits them, right? Levi had to back. He goes and gets the Blade of the Ruined King. He goes and gets the Berserker Graves and starts pushing out bot lane. The second that they know he's backed, they make sure to rotate Fat Cat up. They don't need him in the bot lane when it's just the support there. So may need some help now, though.
It's so painful because the fact that he has Blade of the Ruined King, he is that on-hit build, right? If you stack up those Blight stacks, your Q is going to do damage no matter what. You don't need to be lethality for that. You don't need it at all. It does that percentage damage.
It also gives you a little bit of healing really early in this lane. When you're playing Varus, you don't really want to build Immortal Shield Bow, and you don't want to build the Bloodthirster either. And Sundered Sky is not a Varus item, and that's basically all the heal items in the game at this point, other than Blade of the Ruined King. So Blade of the Ruined King fits his build. It gives him a little bit of healing in lane to make sure he doesn't have to deal with as much of the Karma and Seraphine poke. Quietly, 2 drags for Ottawa, though.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. The bot lane's not doing too hot, so you should be able to grab the dragons as a result. But check out the immediate rotation. Last time they were slow on the rotation to go to Grubs. This time they said, all right, we're going to meet him there. Quick Slice is going to have the first set go over there. Doesn't have TP. They have vision. They know that they're looking to contest. Quick Slice did go back up to the top side. This should just be 3 grubs going over to Ottawa Braves. As you can see, they're going to keep trading. But Ottawa Braves, they get to even things out really nicely for themselves.
Yeah, 3-3 grubs means grubs don't matter. If everyone has the same grubs, they don't matter. So we'll see how much it helps the rest of this team. But Yuno's in an odd position that he doesn't need to really win the Slane to the same degree. Will actually be Drury getting 4, so it will matter a little bit, but not a huge amount. Yuno's in an interesting position this line where he doesn't have to be the carry for the rest of the game. In fact, he almost certainly will not be the carry. Even during draft, he won't be the carry, right? It's not like I'm saying it now. He's just, there's no reason for the Seraphine to be the carry on the team with Zach
saying
and
Seraphine
Zed.
can't
Jack
carry?
and Zed. I am aware Seraphine can carry. I'm just saying in this game, in this composition, Seraphine does not
Are you
need to
aware
carry.
that she's going to get buffed?
I am so excited for her to get buffed because I'm going to be able to play Seraphine mid lane again. And that's all I care about.
You
I'm
made an enemy out of some players here. I hope you know that. As the Chains of Corruption come out, and you can see the enemy laid out there. Levi getting brought into
The
tower
TP.
range. The TP from behind. Plutch trying to finish off a kill for the team. Orion, though, is here. Is going to lay out the death mark on one side, while Fat Cat looks to finish off Plutz. The supportal combat goes in their favor, and the Zed finishes off the marksman.
I mean, that's as clean as you can get it. They had to use a teleport there, but Orion's got 4 kills and a 400 gold bounty. Opportunity already ready to go. There's not much better that Orion could have done this early game, and that gold lead that he had, that the gold deficit he had in mid, is all but gone at this point with the 4 kills.
4 kills on your Zed. This is where you're at. This is where you need to feast. And right now, Riverside, as the birthday boy here, is kind of upset at the teammates. So they've been giving presents over to Orion, none to Riverside. And Riverside's like, guys, you can come gank my lane. Can you guys
Anytime.
stop dying to this guy? You're making my life harder.
Anytime, any minute now, I'll put it in place for you. Yuno's gonna just try and get prod off these wolves. Won't be able to kill any.
No, you got one.
Yeah, he got a little one.
Yeah, you got a
He's
little
in
one.
trouble now.
Enchanted Crystal Arrow doesn't hit its mark. Prod might be in trouble, but Orion is unstoppable, and Riverside is still just like, please stop. Stop doing this. Orion taking a good amount of damage, but it's not enough to kill 5-0 Zed, as first turret does go over to the side of Ottawa Braves.
Yeah, you can see how susceptible Zed is to damage once his cooldowns aren't there. You saw that when Zed just went right onto prod in the jungle, it was a 1-2 quick death, right? Assassin. But once Riverside used Scatter the Weak, it was a little bit of a different story there.
I'll be
It was
honest.
almost dead as Zed.
If Zed had Death Mark there, I think Zed actually gets a double kill.
I think that's true, but he used it on prod.
Yeah. So it's one of those things. It's the dynamic. Like I was saying, you can actually use it to counter a lot of what Syndra wants to do. They could have just walled that Syndra and then immediately ulted on top of Syndra and made things happen. But because of cooldowns, like you're saying, that is a different story. It's not something that you can comfortably rely on. And Quick Slice on this Gragas top lane actually just got tower all on their own up here. I don't think they had any assistance over there. That was just them just straight up soloing out the tower, which is actually pretty surprising when you think about the range in the melee matchup. But it's showing exactly Quick Slice being comfortable inside the matchup. Gold pretty much even across the table. Everybody is fairly even. The big gap for both sides, you see Drury taking advantage of things in the mid lane, while over on the opposite side, Levi on this Varus is up ahead of the competition.
Yeah, it's a negligible gold lead at this point. It's it's like 400-ish gold. It doesn't matter a huge amount to start, but Kaiser's looking to go in.
Yeah, Kaiser with the flash counter-strike onto Riverside. It forced the flash from him. Now here comes the teleport. This is going to be Killian looking for a possible angle for the Slice of Maelstrom, and they find it as they will slice apart. Kaiser goes down. Fat Cat up next. As you know, just trying to shield and heal for the team. Zed falls victim as well. A major shutdown. A disastrous team fight from Drury. They look to contest, but Killian, who has been quiet all game, is the mastermind of that fight.
The Kennen is kind of the natural counter to this Drury composition. They want to stay together. They want to ball up. They want to be able to get Seraphine shields. They want to be able to get Karma shields. You need to be near them to do that. But Kennen wants to go in on you when you're all together in a ball to put that slicing maelstrom right down on top of you to make sure you can't move. So Drury's kind of in a hard place right now when Kennen's around and when Kennen has ultimate. And that Hex Tech Rocket Belt from Kennen, it's the first buy. It's basically the first buy anytime anyone ever plays Kennen. It gives you so much mobility to make sure you can get into those good areas for slicing maelstrom. Right there, there's a really good choke point. Couldn't move.
Oh, teleport coming in. They want to actually catch him out on this fight. Orion's going to be able to find the mark onto Levi, and it's going to be another kill. Quick Slice securing that one. Riverside is up next, and Orion chasing out Rod. They threw out the cast just to make sure that the kill would be secure, but here's the slicing maelstrom on the one target. Jungler down. Kaiser gets dropped. And that is a big one to be able to drop indeed. But they should still be able to lay the siege out. Drury getting some objectives, some gold in their pocket. And where your HP bar at?
We talked about cooldowns before with the Zed ultimate over in the jungle for Drury side. We saw this exact same thing happen just now with the Kennen ultimate for Ottawa Braves. They used it in the fight. It wasn't up until Killian used it right there on the one champion for Drury. It's impossible for Ottawa Braves to fight in such a congested position against the Drury comp. So both teams need to be really careful about how the cooldowns are on the other team.
I think the major ones you got to think about from Ottawa, though, is just the Kennen, right? Like,
yeah, that's the Kennen ultimate, and I'd actually say the Chains of Corruption from Varus as well. It's a really big AoE CC. Is you can hit it on one and they stay together, which they want to because of Seraphine.
Oh, quick slice. Brought him in close and exchange ultimates there. I'll bring you closer. I'll kick you away, says Prod.
No one wanted that fight.
Well, they want this fight in the mid lane. You know, caught out of position. Nice encore. Hits on the Levi. Forces the Flash to get aggressive. But check out. All retreats have been cut off. One kill to Orion. The death mark onto the other. It's a trade 2 for 2 in the mid lane.
Yeah, Orion just needs to run away from Prod now because Prod can absolutely kill this Zed.
Yeah, he's got Shadow, but it's not enough to get away from the Scatter of the Weak. He's been hit with the outplay button.
Yeah, I personally wouldn't say Orion's weak, but I mean, I guess you could say that.
I mean, hey.
He definitely did get scattered, so.
Yeah, he got scattered. He got sent to the wind for sure. Definitely not ideal weakness, but you can see now Ottawa Braves taking a good bit of resources away from the side of Drury, and his gold lead has expanded over the past little bit. 2K now in favor of Ottawa Braves.
They're pushing this. They're pushing the tempo, which is exactly what they need to do. They feel the need that they need to play this team fight around everyone. Quick slice.
Oh, right, man. Who said Gragas can't carry? This is a Lich Bane, Rod of Ages, Gragas. What are you gonna do when the fat man comes for you?
Okay, they're not going for Baron. Never mind. It looked like they were going for Baron. They thought about going to Baron.
They don't have Orion. They would need Orion to think about that. And Chance Crystal Era doesn't hit its mark. You know, yet again, getting caught out of place, but the Encore coming in as a response every single time. Levi tries to trade kill for kill, but instead, it's a shutdown going over to Quick Slice, who's 5-0-4. Killian comes in. Fat Cat put down. Another kill for Killian, who is also on a rampage. Both of these top laners are 5 kills to the name.
They're 5 kills to the name, but the longer and longer we get into this game, I feel better about the Gragas sitting over on the Drury side. Gragas just inherently is a lot tankier than the rest of the enemy team, and with the buff ups from the 2 bot laners, which again, don't have to be the best players in the server to this game, Gragas feels like it's on a really good place right now.
I mean, I agree with you. Rod of Ages, Lich Bane, slapping people around. It's giving me PTSD from the Gragas that was in my game earlier, slapping me around. So, Quick Slice might have been that Gragas. I don't know. But it's making me relive some painful memories from those games on the Rift. And right now, with Dragon spawning in under a minute, it might be some painful memories for either side, as Drew's got to be in position to make sure they stop this Dragon from going over, as it's soul point for Mountain Soul.
I do expect whatever Gragas is doing, I do expect another more survivability item. We see the Seeker's Arm Guard comes through. I think the Zonia is probably one of the best things that Gragas can build right here. The other thing you'd look at is something like an Abyssal Mask or perhaps a Hollow Radiance. Just something to make sure that you don't take as much damage from this other team, but there's so much damage you just kind of need to decide how you don't want to take it and go with it. That's a big chain of
caught
corruption.
out. I mean, yeah, sure, it's big, but it doesn't do the job as the Seeker's Arm Guard comes in. Unfortunately, Explosive Casket just deters as this Gragas is looking like, man, I wish I had a Death Cap right about now to just smash everybody with. They're looking for something a little bit more, but Ottawa has complete control over this choke, slicing Maelstrom onto 3, make it 4. Drury is being completely routed. Killian being the hero that they need as Orion with the fancy footwork is dipping and dodging throughout the fight, but that sacrifice from Killian, that's Dragon Soul in favor of Ottawa Braves.
Yeah, that's a free Dragon Soul. They haven't been able to... Drury has not been able to fight it. Every single time that Drury goes to try and fight for the Dragon, they get outclassed by this Kennen ultimate, and they can't do anything about it, right? The only cross-map play you can do right now is to go for the Baron, and they're not in a position to do that.
It's... I do wonder, right? Now that you have Soul that you're looking across the table from, right? You have a composition that has some tools that can really scale. The Jats hasn't really been able to find a moment to get into this game. What do you do to find success inside of this? Because you do have some tankiness. You do have a lot of damage you can put out. You've got a lot of utility you can throw in. You need to figure out a way to deal with this Kennen who has foiled you in every team fight. You can see how the gold has expanded inside this game. It's still sitting in at that 1.5 to 2k range. You can see that gold is still mostly in the favor of Levi, who is this other dangerous threat that when you blow all these tools to get on the Kennen, Levi's just going to run wild.
Yeah. So that Chains of Corruption that we saw in the mid lane earlier, you said it didn't do anything, and you're correct. But I want to point out the important thing about Chains of Corruption is not that it's just this ultimate that is CC and does some damage. The big thing about Chains of Corruption is there's a circle around the first person that gets hit. And if you stay in that circle too long, the Chain of Corruption spreads to you. And it can continuously spread. So in that fight, it actually spread to 4 people because they still wanted to stay together. So it went from one person to one person to one person. If we see that happen in a bigger team fight, if we see the Chain of Corruption come down and then the slicing Maelstrom, there is no way that anyone from Drury University can survive that.
Orion is being hunted down, and you can see Killian trying to jump onto him. Zed's not able to side lane, which is another thing, right? The Zed 9-2-4 getting ambushed by Killian over onto the side is not what you want to see. You want Zed to ideally be the person who's able to split, right? He doesn't even have like the traditional Zed counter of Hourglass, right? Like the Zed just can't contest him at the moment.
No, and there's nothing Zed can do about it, right? Zed is inherently this like champion that wants to go in, and Kennen wants you to go in on him. It's scary to play into Kennen as one of these AD assassins. And if Ace hits a stun on you, you're gone, right? If Killian hits a stun on you there, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, that is the main detractor there for one to ever go in. But this Killian's just getting to live for free down here in the bot side. Orion's the only person who's able to really stay down there with him, apparently. And he's just building up an empire at this moment in time. And I feel like Quick Slice, yeah, he's checking top, but he's also having to rotate back over to the team often. Zed is the ideal person to split inside of these fights. But this just can't split. Can't split while the action is going on because of how everything is going and everything on the map. It's not in a good state to do such.
Nothing on this map is in a good state right now for Drury. And I know we say that and you're looking at the score and you're going, wow, but Drury's up 4 kills. Ottawa's got this Dragon Soul, which is worth probably 4,000 or 5,000 gold, right? It's worth a good chunk of gold at this point. And they're also up 2,000 gold. So, and Ottawa just feels like they have a better comp right now, the way that Drury want to play. So, Drury need to take a fight soon, and they need to win it convincingly, get a Baron off of it, and start pushing lanes in. They've gotten the tier 1 in the top lane, and...
That's a big one! Big
that's
solo!
Huge.
So that was what I was looking to. Because he doesn't have Hourglass, you can actually play around your ultimate to mess with them, right? Because as long as you have a shadow outside of the slicing maelstrom, Kennen can't get to you, and you actually apply a slow on your E with the shadow. So big solo kill to be able to come out. This does mean that Ottawa Braves needs to call out a fight of their own. Has to flash for it after the ward hop, and Fat Cat will be put to sleep. And now, Dragus was looking for a possible flanking angle. They're going to get caught out by Riversided, but he did chug jug, so it didn't do as much damage as they would have wanted. Orion is splitting bot. They have teleport. They could just base and look for a teleport angle, but everybody else got so chunked out, they can't even think about it. It's gone. You just better keep pushing. Quickly.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about this Baron at this point. They're doing it slow to hopefully get English, to make sure that Killian can get the buff with it. Otherwise, there's nothing that Drury can get, right? They push the bot lane, they get the bot lane tier 1, but they can't push the tier 2s at all across the board. There's nothing. They don't have enough vision over in the jungles. You can see, if you look at this jungle for the bot lane, there is no vision in that jungle for either team realistically, but especially for Drury, who wants to be able to push into that jungle. Top jungle's a little bit better.
Yeah, I was about to say, look at Ottawa. That's a lot of vision. Yeah. That's more than just a lot.
well, I say a little bit better on the Ottawa side of the map for Ottawa, right? They have a little bit of their own vision. But if you look at the Drury top side, Ottawa knows everything that's going on in there.
Yeah. Problem is, you're playing as double Enchanter, right? You want to get in there and look for those moments. But Prod possibly caught out. Enchanted Crystal Arrow finds its mark, and Carr goes on to Prod. Prod survives it all, though, and a little bit of heartbreak, while over on the side, Revenge never tasted so sweet for Killian as they find a solo kill onto Orion, and everything is a disaster for Drury. They are bearing down. Ottawa has this Baron buff. They are pushing down the base. No ultimates available at the current moment in time either. You got 30 seconds until Orion's back up. 20 for Kaiser. They should be able to put on the pressure. No breaks needed, but looks like this will be enough for them to back away. They don't have a huge minion wave. They're just going to move around the map a little bit more so. And Elder Dragon spawning. That could be the definitive nail in the coffin.
Yeah, the Elder Dragon at 30 minutes is really tough for most people, and gets hit with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow.
Yeah.
Dead instantly from Riversided.
Yeah, that's death. Dragon had already been started. It's gone.
This is the game right here. This should be the final push for the Ottawa Brave side.
Yeah, and you can see Quick Slice is trying to lay in a little bit more hurt onto Killian before this goes on out, but you're not going to be able to do too terribly much here. Last hurrah for Orion. They go in for a possible solo kill. They went for the Hail Mary play. You have to at this moment in time. And now with Elder Dragon cleaning up the kills has never before looked so easy. We're 30 minutes into the game, and it's going to end just like that. 20-19 between these two teams. Kaiser going in for one last play, but the Slicing Maelstrom is going to keep them completely at bay. GG for them. Ottawa Braves come out with a very, very good and concise and sudden victory from themselves.
Yeah, it looked good for both teams up until it did not look good for both teams. Specifically for Drury, right? It looked, it was a good game. It was a good game. It was a good game. And then it wasn't a good game.
It was a lot of Killian just finding the right angles, finding those moments to actually like go in for those plays, which I really appreciate. Just all around like very, very good stuff from them, and you cannot hate on exactly what Drury was cooking inside. You know, like they were actually going in for some very fun ideas. The Zed just never got the split push. Ideally, Killian was too much of a threat, and this composition with all these different tools to start up fights with these picks, with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, the Corrupt Chain, the Scatter the Weak, right? Like, there's just so many ways for them to actually start off a fight, and they kept getting the ability to start up a fight, while the other side didn't have that explosive cast coming in at a decisive moment. The Jats was so far behind that if they tried to engage, it wouldn't work. So the composition had some cool things, but just fell flat.
It was a great composition in everything but go buttons. There weren't any.
Yeah.
If your best go button is a Gragas cast that pulls the team towards you, it's a skill shot you have to hit. It's really difficult, and the encore from the Seraphine doesn't work in the same way if the rest of the other team is jumping on you. right? If the rest of the other team wants to come into you anyway, the Encore isn't helping you. Right,
No.
the Encore helps when you put it onto the Varus or the Ashe. You don't want them to get closer, but when you put the Encore on the Kennen or the Lee Sin, they want to get close to you anyway. You're just helping them out.
Yeah, we'll see what Drury comes back with to cook up for game number 2, but we are going to take ourselves a short little break to get things going on. Before we do get in there, we want to give a quick heads up to our lovely, lovely sponsors that we have out there and our lovely little articles that we have. Basically, we want to go ahead and just hit you guys with to make sure to check out our webinar that is coming on up. You'll be able to find this. It's an informational webinar on what it takes to make your gaming events off. Unified does a lot of these. It's being hosted alongside with Play Easy, and it's basically a webinar to make sure that you're able to get all that information to be able to run an esports event. This is really good just in case you're looking to do something close to home, or even if you're just interested in what goes into it. Highly recommend checking it out. It will be at 2 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, February the 21st. So just type !webinar in the chat and you'll be able to follow the link and get registered. Never been inside a webinar. You don't have to read. They just tell you things, and it's pretty nice. So highly recommend checking that out. It's really good, especially if you're like me, where I would rather hear somebody talk than read a bunch of text. So hey, make sure you go check that out. We're going to take ourselves that short break, and when we come back, we'll be going into game number 2. So make sure you do not touch that browser.
We are here live at the MEC Fall Championship. It's Kendo Slice, and I am with Cleveland State University's Sully. Sully, the question that we've been asking everybody, what does esports mean to you?
Well, esports to me is just like the ability to play with other players and compete with people and try to overall improve at the game. It's about not so much as winning, because when you win, it feels great, but it's about learning the game and playing the game at a high level and having fun at the competitions. That's what it's all about to me.
Having fun and the competition. Love that. First off, I do want to ask, over the last 3 months or so, we're talking Scholastic Esports.
Yeah.
Has there anything that the last 3 months has enabled you to learn?
For esports specifically, well, playing with my teammates, because before this, I played at a 2-year school, and so it's 2-year school. We had a lot more fun with it. Like, we didn't really do as well, but kind of just went in there and played some weird comps and just had fun. And now playing with all these other CSU guys, they just made me better, because playing with like better people and surrounding myself with better people just helps me learn. So I can kind of take things from everybody and take all their different play styles and mesh it into one. So
I love it. It really does happen everywhere, folks, whether it be esports or as well as real life. We all grow each other, and seeing that in the team dynamic is fantastic. We're at LAN.
Yeah.
It's another opportunity to get not only that team dynamic, but to look across the stage and be like, hey.
And take from them, too.
You're taking positives from that. You know, you're getting them shook. I heard you all did fantastic earlier in a match. The LAN process. What's it been like for you? Have you enjoyed your experiences with LANs?
Yeah, so, especially we didn't have school yesterday because our school observed Veterans Day, so it's like a 3-day weekend. We get to travel. It's like a vacation. We get to stay in a hotel. Last night we played some cards, different card games in our dorm room all together, in our hotel room all together. So it's like a big vacation, which is awesome. And then on top of that, we get to come here and play some Valorant, and that's the cherry on top.
I love it. And you throw on top of it, there's more to come.
That's right.
Favorite esports moment, but we're shaping it.
Okay.
It's from the last 3 months. It's going to be from this semester. And excuse me there.
This semester, actually, like today was probably the best moment because we played earlier. I got an ace. That was pretty awesome. And then the game before that, I did pretty well, and I got a triple spray transfer, which I'm pretty proud of. Which I can't wait to go watch that tonight later. And so probably today. Today's probably been my favorite.
Hey, there you go. And this is just the beginning. It's not just the peak. Finally, we're looking forward toward the future. What does the future look like for you in esports going into the next semester? Anything coming up that you're excited about?
Well, I mean, this is our first semester as a team because me and Lime, we're new to this team. So we're looking forward to being able to practice more over winter break. And we're looking at this semester, we're looking at this as kind of like a practice run, like a dry run.
Yes.
And then next semester, we're getting for real. We're getting real. So next semester, we're planning on doing a lot better. I'm happy with our results this semester, especially just forming. But now that we've been together for a year, it's gonna be over.
Oh, it's gonna be good. That's what I'm talking about, folks. I really appreciate Sully. Once again, more interviews to come.
Hello, everyone, and welcome on back to the MEC. We're ready to get into our next and up-and-coming game here inside this best of 3. Game number 1 had some excitement in the draft. We saw sparks fly for about 20 minutes of the game, and then it was Ottawa Braves who just kind of took control over everything here. And so far, so good from Ottawa Braves. I really think they did a really good job inside that last game.
Yeah, I mean, I have one big idea here for the side of Drury in order to improve their standing and maybe win this next match, takes us to map 3. It's very simple. Ban Kennen. It was a huge problem for the Drury side. It was having to deal with the Kennen, especially in that comp that you want to kind of get together and you want to group up. The Kennen is brutal to play against, right? So I'm hoping that they've learned from their mistakes here over on the Drury side and are able to ban Kennen.
I don't know, honestly. I think the big thing for them was, so Riverside coming in might not have been something that Drury was prepped for. So the Azir ban makes me think that, just because of the fact that is Riverside's most played champion inside of solo queue. It's not their highest winning champion, but it is their most played by a decent margin, especially in the year 2024. And it could be a matchup thing from Orion saying, Azir's kind of annoying for me to deal with my champion pool. I don't really want to face into that character. So they might still run it back in a similar way. The Kennen was fine inside the laning phase. I'm going to fight you on this. I think the Kennen is fine to let through. Quickslice dealt with it.
The problem was not the laning phase.
Exactly.
The problem was the after the laning phase bit.
But that's
why I'd go for a ban on Kennen.
But that goes into your next point. Ward better. I would rather see a team, instead of saying, oh, we positioned badly against X champion, let's ban it. I would rather see them adapt and say, hey, we played badly against this character. Let's put wards here and put a little bit more respect on a possible engage from this champion. So for me personally, if they let the Kennen through, cool. I'm going to expect that you play better around it, because it's not like it was something where it was like, oh, I got champ diff. No, it wasn't a champ diff where you look over and it's just like, oh, yeah, this champion's just so busted. Killian is really good at flanking. You knew where the cannon was in multiple fights where he came around on flanks with Slicing Maelstrom. There was a moment where he had to like flash engage with the Slicing Maelstrom inside the river, and it annihilated their entire team. If you're going to go for a composition like this, you have to hit that. If I'm going to bully anybody on execution, I'd actually say those explosive casts need to be a little bit cleaner from Quick Slice, who had a phenomenal laning phase, was like 5-0 inside a lane, which is insane, and it wasn't even from him feasting on Killian, who was just doing his best. But you're supposed to cast miss, which means Killian has an easy in.
I think easier go buttons over for the Drury side would be the second most important thing, obviously past ban cannon. The go buttons for the Drury side just didn't really exist this last game. They weren't as easy to use, right? Now, that's not saying that Gragas isn't a bad go button, that Seraphine isn't a bad go button, but they're skill shot reliant. And not just skill shot reliant, but they're harder to pull off, especially the Gragas ultimate. You need to be the right step away, you need to be able to get as many people on the right side of the barrel as you can, and you need to be able to pull them into you. And it's hard to do that with a team that doesn't want to be anywhere close to you, right? So easier go buttons would be, I think, the biggest thing on the wish list for Drury University.
It's kind of one of those weird things where Gragas is, a lot of people talk about the explosive cast because it is like your main tool. I actually think of his main engage being flash body slams into cast.
But we didn't see a huge amount.
We never saw that, actually. There was never a flash body slam moment inside the game. So it's like, if we do see it, I like the idea. The theory is there. It's good disengage plus a good possible engage. My actual pick that I would like to see them shift around with is I like the fact that they started off that first phase of the draft phase with a lot of different flets. But what happens when you start mixing all these ingredients together and you say, all right, we got all these flets picks, even if they know where they're going, you kind of come into a mess when you get cooking with too many flets ingredients, right? And I think the Jats actually didn't have a great place inside of this because it get bullied earlier on. It's okay into Lee, right? But I feel like the Jats just didn't really ever have a moment to shine, and it was more the threat of the flets. And after you got into the game, the threat was gone.
Yeah, I mean, you know what you're playing against as you load into the Rift. So we'll get into draft here in a second. We'll see how many of these ideals both these teams take through the draft to make sure that, you know, their second game's a little bit better than the first game in the Drury case, and to nail that point home over for the Ottawa Braves.
Yeah, Drury needs to start up a reverse sweep. They have to start up the momentum now. I expect Drury to actually turn around and probably do the same thing that they did in the last game because they are very good at putting up multiple champions. Hashtag shameless plug over inside the MEC pod, actually. We talked to, I was asking Castle what is his scariest team to actually play against. And he says like teams that are, you never really know what they're doing inside a draft are always like very much so champions that he looks at where he's like, these teams are difficult because you don't know what they're thinking until you get to the very end of the game. And they're also good players. So if you're looking at Drury and Drury's kind of going through that strategy, right? Like players like Castle, who's on one of the best teams inside the MEC and one of the best junglers inside the MEC, one of the best junglers inside of Collegiate, says, yo, that's one of the things that I usually am like, about. Maybe that's something that you look at from Ottawa Braves and go, all right, I'm not too terribly hot about this. We'll have to see.
Yep. Orion's Quay, first thing banned. I expect to see banned the whole series. Yeah. If we go to a third game, I expect to be banned there. Ban the first one. I think that's just a permaban at this point. It's too good on the champion, and the champion does too many things. I played Hui for the first time the other day. I was so overwhelmed with the amount of things that champion could do.
I got a secret
like
for you.
Abilities.
There's 10 so abilities, but there's only like a couple that are always good, so I just rotate those ones. I found my favorites, and I was like...
I was real simple about it. I went Q is damage, W is like utility, and E is crowd control. So I'm going to press whatever button I want and then press a random button and hope it works. And that was my solution. It didn't go particularly well, but that was my solution.
It won't go very well.
No.
Take a moment. You gotta, you digest what the abilities do. Mech's like,
no, I understood what they did.
No, I don't want to.
But I went into playing that Hui as a dare from a friend and went, I was like, I don't want to think. And he goes, pick Hui. And I went, no, that requires thinking. He said, no, you're fine. Just don't think and play Hui. So I didn't think and I played Hui. Didn't go well. Not playing Hui again. It's also just not my champion. Bans are looking exactly the same, by the way, as they did last game. Hui and Ivern on the Ottawa side. Velveth and Rumble over on the Drury side. I expect this to stay the same. Prod, the amount of games that Prod plays on Velveth is ungodly. That's a Seraphine being hovered over on the Ottawa side. That would not have been the champion from the last game that I would have seen coming it through as a ban.
Yep. I mean, yeah, they bullied it, but remember, they did a very specific strategy to take down Seraphine. Seraphine's very troublesome inside teamfights, and we actually saw those encores be very effective inside the game, even when Seraphine's behind, especially because your item break curve is much lower than other characters inside of the game.
I think you're right on all of that. I just think the Karma probably would have been a more meaningful ban with the triple flex here.
Maybe.
Like I like Seraphine.
Quick Slice isn't playing
really
it.
good.
Quick Slice isn't playing it. Orion's not playing it. It's Fat Cat who's playing it.
You don't think Orion's playing Karma?
No.
It feels like an Orion champ to me. I don't know why.
Nah,
I can't explain why.
It's Orion likes things that are fun.
All right, Ash coming right back out. We saw it as a flex last game and ended up going into the support role. Could go into the bot lane role this time, but right now put your markers on assuming that's probably going to Flux.
Yeah, more than likely. Yet again, Varus is left open, but this is a good adaptation that I like. Go ahead and grab Varus for yourself, or you can actually take the Karma here, and I won't be mad at you. It will go to Fat Cat, and then you could do a Varus Karma bot lane, and that's actually a very nice and established bot lane. You go Lethality Varus, and you could really pop a good amount of damage in there. Love that. Great lock-in.
So here's the question: what do we see pairing with the Ashe? Because I could see the Ashe still being a support Ashe. I could see the Ashe being paired with a Senna. I could see the Ashe being paired with, any variety of Enchanter supports. I mean, Ashe Lulu's not bad. Ashe Milio's really good right now. We'll see what gets paired with the Ashe. I assume they pick it in the first half of the draft, though. I don't think that they wait to pick the pairing with the Ashe until the second half, just to prevent being banned out. That's a Twisted Fate. That's going to go mid lane. I don't believe Killian plays Twisted Fate top lane. So I'd assume this is Twisted Fate for Riverside.
Yeah, this is more than likely a Riverside TF that's coming in. So I think that is a great thing. And yet again, Prod, now because there's no Jats at the early part, this is where the scariness of the flex Jats was in play. The Jin Zhao gets locked in. I don't think you can go Jats in this moment in time. You want to go for something that's a little bit different to give your team a go button. I like the
So here's the thing about this Wukong. Up until last weekend, if you told me, hey, there's a Wukong being picked in a game, I went, great jungler. We saw Wukong picked in top lane last week, and that was a little scary. It wasn't bad by any means. Like it was terrible. Actually, let me rephrase that. It was terrible in lane. But once it got out of lane, once it got into the team fights, the knockup on the ultimate was huge to use with Orion, with that Wukong. So it will be jungle though. I think that Gwen's a top lane.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's Quick Slice, right? Like Quick Slice is really good on Gwen. This is what I was talking about earlier on when you asked me like what champion would I want banned. Yo, Ottawa Braves, you got to put some respect on the Gwen. The response that comes out is yet again the Killian Cannon. They lock this in. This would be spicy.
Yeah, the Pike would be a really hard kill lane early. You want to make sure that the Pike gets going. You'll double lethality in the bot lane. If we see this locked in, this could be a little bit more difficult for the Karma Varus to deal with.
Not necessarily. It can be aggravating. I play a lot of Pike myself. The big thing is the possibility of the go button that comes across. Another hook champion gets flipped around. Okay, back to the Pike. Pike is really good. I like Pike. I play a lot of them. He suffers. I'm not going to lie to you. It's kind of like the Zed problem. Once you get out of the laning phase, you're really looking for those reset ultimates. It is not as easy to find those moments because everybody else is getting more HP and all that other good stuff. But check that out. Orion is grabbing Silas. And Silas is a really fantastic game. So this is a traditional counter from Orion. Because everybody, back when TF was the meta, this is what you took. You took the Silas mid, you can steal Destiny, go down to a lane, and all the ultimates that are here, the Slicing Maelstrom, the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, Death from Below. Yo, this is so good. I really love this Silas pick.
This is an insanely good Silas value game. not just as a good Silas value game, it just feels like a good, just on without the ultimate, it feels like a good Silas game, right? It feels like you're going to take a couple Q points into the TF. So generally when you play Silas, there's two different ways you can go. You can max your W first if you're in a melee matchup. That means you're going to take a lot more trades. You're going to W into your opponent to heal off of it. If you're playing into a ranged opponent, you put more stacks into your Q. You want to make sure that you have a lot more poke from it. When you do the Q and you do the chain cross, it leaves that little explosion, but that little explosion does a lot of damage. Like a surprisingly large amount of damage. So you can use it to poke out the TF in lane and try and help secure like more waves.
Yeah, you do run into a little bit of the issue where you are playing melee into range, so keep an eye out on wave state and how Orion moves around it. We've seen Orion traditionally playing more on Vito. Hue is like the big one, of course, but we've seen him play a little bit more of the I am in the middle of the team instead of being the front goer of the team. So very excited to see how the go button pulls off between them, because if they actually put respect down and they do that adaptation, as I said, with the Kennen, where they say, all right, we'll put down wards and everything like that, in moments where Kennen is waiting on the flanks, where Killian's looking for that perfect moment to engage, you can easily yoink that ultimate, bring it over, and jump into the middle of their team and make them feel the slicing maelstrom. So I really, really enjoy this pick coming out here from Drury. We're going into game number 2 between these two teams. Whoever takes this one, well, not whoever. Ottawa is going to be the ones, if they take this one, they'll be able to pick up and go 2-0. If Drury win this one, we go into a game number 3 between these two teams, tied currently on the leaderboard.
Game number trace is on the line. That's what we're looking at here. And I do like the go buttons a little bit better for Drury this time. Feels like the Wukong ult with the clone plus the R and just whatever Silas has today feels like better go buttons than they had last game. They've got 5 ultimates on the other side, 3 of which are excellent go buttons.
All right, real quick, there was a poll opened up in Twitch chat that I just wanted to go ahead and talk about. Drury, you guys keep doing hashtag all we do is win. This comp looks better than what we saw inside of game number 1. Where are y'all at? 89% of Twitch chat thinks that Ottawa Braves will take on this dub, while Drury Panthers only sitting at that 11%. Where are you guys at? Y'all allowed inside Twitch chat. Did y'all bet all your points in the last game and now you have nothing to spend? What's happening?
I think they're a little scared right now.
Well, right now you can see why they would be a little scared. Plus taking a huge chunk of damage. Does have Ignite that was burning away on them, and is going to go down as a result of this. They don't have great trades as regards to this, and yet again, Ottawa Braves get a great start off the things inside the bot lane.
Everything's looking good right now. That's the best thing you can have to start right now for the Ottawa Braves, right? Is to get that Ashe going early. It's a good start.
Riverside is going to play ADTF, I think, this game too.
I think that's the right call. All right, that feels right.
If not, he just has the Doran's Blade, which is completely fine inside of the TF matchup, because you're going to do a lot of autoing down onto the Silas because of the fact that he is melee. So I actually really would like the adaptation to come across here, especially because it gives you guys a higher AD threat. Ashe isn't known to be an insane AD threat. They will do damage. They can carry. It's just they have a much more utility supportive based role in the AD carry role. So keep our eyes out on that. And also, poor Orion has to deal with those red cards that give him some nice little wave clear, as Orion is going to go in. Level 3 is your moment to do it. Great telegraph coming in. Prod read him like a book, and Riverside gets the kill.
Cringe jungle roll. If Orion had no jungler there, if there was no blue side jungler, Orion would have had the solo kill on Riverside. Jungle roll is cringe. We move on.
You say cringe, right? But I'm going to play devil's advocate and say base jungle. Right.
I'd just like to state that my League of Legends name for like 3 months was cringe jungle roll as a jungle main. It was a great 3 months because every other team was like, what are you doing?
Why are you playing this role?
Why are you doing this?
I just make my names after champions. Have names like Sets, Bathwater, and stuff like that. It's a different level of confusion.
I am Rakhanuff for a little bit. That was a good name.
Anyways, we're going back into the rift here.
Yeah, it's quiet right now, right? So
I mean, yes,
Kennen is
4
going to have
minutes
push. Kennen's going to have push against the Gwen. That's just natural. It's Reigns into melee, but the hope is that Gwen can farm under tower. But there's a nice little freeze being done here, so Quick Slice can't really get out to get many of these minions.
No, it's Quick Slice said I did really good inside of laning phase. Let me go into a more carry dependent champion. It's not a great matchup to go into the Kennen, which is a little bit of the sad news, the bad news bears moment that you get to have there. I am actually surprised because the Kennen was picked in the second phase, right? That we did not see the Kennen just banned away.
Yeah.
If you're going to play Gwen.
Oh no,
Riverside yet again.
Part 2.
Yep. Hey, call him cringe if you want, but like I said, it's just base for Ottawa Braves fans. Riverside to get another kill. It's feasting. He eating good inside the mid lane. This is like they're making up for the last game. Remember, they got fed Orion in the last time. Now getting jumped upon. They're saying we got to make this nice and good for our birthday boy.
Yeah, Yuno's getting chunked out a little bit here. I think that's the big problem right now for the entirety of Drury is that 2 games in a row now has been chunked out in lane. He has not had a huge amount of pressure either in the Seraphine lane or now in the Varus lane. He's just getting forced back under tower, and it's really hard to CS here if you're because you have to deal with just Ashe existing, Pyke trying to pull you out, and neither of them are taking damage at the same rate that you are.
Yeah, the biggest frustration here is actually Plutz on this Pyke because the skewers are connecting all the time. It's actually very frustrating to deal with in this lane just because of the fact that Ashe, once you're pulled in, Ashe makes sure you can't really get out very well. Prod being over here was backing is enough to kind of be like, all right, yeah, you guys back away. The rest of the team was there to play, so Kaiser Orion looking for something to be able to go for a little bit of an assist, but Ottawa Braves still get to remain comfortable, and now Plutz gets to jump out of the bush, bring Fat Cat in with the skewer. Levi looking for the solo kill onto Need to pop him with that rain of arrows. Doesn't get it. Good flash from Levi, and Fat Cat will trade, get the kill back for their team. Quick Slice now in a terrible spot. Riverside came up with the gank with the Destiny, and that was all she wrote. Unfortunate from Killian. Used the slicey maelstrom, pushed the wave a little bit, but goes down at the same exact time. You can see already at this moment in time, the gold being the way it is a little bit rough. Orion finds Prod out as they try to contest onto the Dragon Pit. Kaiser should be able to secure this one, but Killian is rotated. Ashe is on the comeuppance here. Levi has
should
joined.
be a little bit of a fight.
This might be.
The goal.
I don't think you want to, though. I don't think that's the best ult to take.
No, I don't think so either, but Shinzao Ultimate means that he wants to go in and hit the Shinzao out. That's the big thing, right? The Shinzao Ultimate says...
No, didn't steal it.
Brutal,
Kaiser goes down.
Yeah, no. I think that it would have been better if you could grab the Kennen Ultimate.
Yes.
Or the Ashe Ultimate, but...
Ashe is not level 6 yet, so cannot do.
I thought you could grab the Ultimate pre-other champion being 6.
I do... If you can. I'm being told you can. I did not realize that was a thing. I thought
I
you
believe
had to
that
wait
is a
until
thing. Nope, I believe that's a thing.
Okay.
That's why Silas is such a huge fan of getting to 6 before the other champions.
All right. Well, I've been corrected on that one. So, we'll go into this, and now the damage has been traded back, but Prod coming around on the wraparound. Goes down. Ottawa Braves
everywhere this game.
Just out in a different field here. Prod has been all over the map. Drury are starting to look at this and go, all right, look, our friends are kind of bullying us at this moment in time. We need to do something about it, but I don't know if Ottawa's going to give them a chance to.
Yeah, both of these teams put up Twitter posts ahead of the game calling the other team friends, and this does not look particularly friendly.
Yes, it does not. It does not look very friendly. It looks like they are not friends.
It's like they are, in fact, mortal enemies destined to face each other in battle.
I don't know about mortal enemies. I was thinking, the friends, but, are they really your friends kind of moment where they just, do things that mess with other people's schedules and stuff like that. Orion gets forced out on the flash again. Prod has been in all the right places. I love what Prod is doing inside this. Prod inside of this. Probably the most criticized member from Ottawa in recent interviews that I've had with players, talking about what they're able to do. Really coming into their own inside this game. Really good jungle knowledge on exactly where to be and where to make sure the best exploit the enemy weaknesses. And Drury's getting ate apart by it.
It's brutal to be a Drury fan right now. It's brutal. Right, this Twisted Fate already has a Kraken Slayer up and running. The bot lane's not going to be much further behind. There's a Berserker's Greaves over on the Ashe, and I'd be willing to bet on back there'll be a Storm Razor or a Kraken Slayer itself. It's hard right now. Flux is getting really close to hitting a lot of these hooks too, and it just means more money getting funneled into the Ashe every single time a hook gets hit. So much damage goes onto this Varus, onto this Karma. And Kaiser's just not in the same places that Prod is at the same time, so it's difficult to even try and answer because Prod seems to be in place, ready to rock, even when Kaiser isn't.
Man, this is a demolition derby. The skewer's continuing. This is more zoning. Plutz is just trying to zone, but here we go. This is the answer bat that you were looking for. Levi getting caught out of position. Destiny used by Orion to get down here and get onto Plutz. And that was the answer back that you needed if you were Drury at this moment in time. You needed desperately to make that play happen, as we do have that ADTF who is going to be able to mulch down this turret if you don't hurry back up there.
Yeah, he's running. He's got to run it quickly. So you get the 200 gold bounty off of the Ashe. That's one of the big gets. Not just that you kill the bot lane, but you get the bounty from it. TF's going to get one plate. I think that second one may pop over, but it may not. That's still a good chunk for TF to get early. He's already got the one full item. These boots should be turned into boots of swiftness. TF generally goes for swiftness boots when he's on AD, but he may also decide to go for Berserker Greaves. So he doesn't need the insanely extra amount of attack speed.
It will be made for walking regardless, and right now, Drury needs to make sure that they are not the rug in this case, because Ottawa Braves is looking to walk all over them. They aren't able to find some way to stabilize inside of the game. They are not too terribly far behind. 2K is the number, but it does feel like a lot of the priority sits in the hands of Ottawa Braves. And here it is, that Destiny 4 members bot. There is no hope. There's no hope of survival. You will be cold down, and Ottawa Braves, yet another textbook dive coming out from them inside of game number 2.
There's nothing that's stopping the Ottawa Braves right now. The only thing that is really stopping this game was Orion being able to steal Destiny from the Twisted Fate, but Twisted Fate still got plates from that and was able to run away. So every time that Drury tries to make a play, tries to do something, it feels like Ottawa has the right answer to it. And then in between those, Ottawa is making proactive plays and making sure that they're able to get to doing what they want to do. And that's a 400 gold bounty right now in the Twisted Fate. Now, some of that is because of the kills, but you also watch that tick up from 350 up to 400 just because of having 110 CS in lane by 12 minutes.
Poor Orion. Look at that damage. One gold card later, and you get hit 5 times. Well, guess what that will do to your HP. Good Dragon Secure, though, by Kaiser. Does mean that Elder Dragon won't be as viable of a condition inside this game. It will come a little bit later on due to this. The good stagnation of the Dragons, and make sure they're not going to be able to get a definitive advantage inside this game.
Not a definitive advantage, but an advantage nonetheless.
Well, they have that advantage already at the current moment in time. And yet another Enchanted Crystal Arrow as they flash over. Beautiful skewer coming out from Plutz. Plutz is just showing how exactly you want to play Pike in this scenario. Kaiser gets hit with a volley, is screaming right now. Going to go ahead and use that Cyclone preemptively. Plutz pulled him in, and Kaiser's not going to be able to get any value out of the second charge of that ability. Yet again.
Well done for Plux. Really, really well done for Plux going up to make sure you pull the Wukong away. That's just mean.
Oh,
that's just mean, man.
It's hard.
That's some Hillsong behavior right there.
That's how you have to play this character. You have to be a gremlin when you play Pike. You have to do this. This is just how you sign a contract whenever you play Pike. And this is what it says that you have to do.
Twisted Fate signing a contract in mid right now for some plates.
Yeah. ADTF, bro. Like, this is what you do.
Yeah, he's trying to get this 4th plate, but if he gets that, that's a lot of gold right into him.
You need to run for the hills. You ain't backing right there. Ottawa Braves, what are you guys doing down here thinking you're going to just back right there? You know? Trying to get the speed up, has that piercing arrow available, does not hit the intended target. Plut's taking a good amount of damage, and the rain of arrows, Plut sacrificing their life. Quick slice now, trying to thread in the needle, tries to jump onto Killian, as Riverside was looking for a dive potentially. Will be able to find it with the gold card. Cannot find solace under the tower. Riverside is on a rampage.
This is brutal right now to watch if you're Drury. See, they're swapping lanes.
I mean, why not? Riverside's already top.
Yeah, Riverside has like gotten all of the tower plates. That is a full tower gone in top lane now. The mid tower is just behind. But nothing's barely anything has been cracked over on the other side. Plux is going in on Orion.
Yeah, but there's a gold card off of the Destiny. You dodged every single thing, but one click to stun you ability. That's all it takes.
Gold's card is a fun ability in this game.
Yeah, having a lot of fun with it. That's another tower down. Ottawa Braves, the Ottawa Demolition Crew at this current moment in time. You know, can't do anything against Levi underneath the tower. More plates were taken down in the bot side. It's the last tower as well. And it's just living on a sliver after the tower plates had fallen. And look at this textbook. You get top, you get mid, then you rotate everybody down to bottom. Teleport is going wide, but you know it's not going to be able to get there in time. The tower goes down right as Orion's TP finishes. Is jumping in, laying in a good amount of hurt, but Levi gets the kill before falling victim.
That's all you can really ask for there from Levi, right? He's going in, he sees a teleport, he's under the enemy tower already. You're just going to keep hitting. That's all you can really do there. That's all you can really ask for. You can get another kill there. So 7-3-3 for the Ashe, 4-0-3 for the Twisted Fate. It's brutal right now to walk up against either of these AD champions over on the Braves.
They're so strong right now. You can just see inside the gold lead. The TS got a massive amount of gold. Levi's got a massive amount of gold. These are the two main carries that you have on your team. You're looking at it being like a 7K differential between the two inside this game. And you look over across the table, 3K of that is on the TF. Another additional 2K of that is on the Ashe. Majority of your advantage is on all the right people from Ottawa Braves. And now Prod looking to go ahead and jump in, the facilitator for this greatness for Ottawa Braves. The Cyclone coming in. Drury trying to fight back, finds one target, but the rest of the carries have joined. Killian had an excellent Frank, and Orion gets taken down. Nice fight from Ottawa Braves, but Drury, they're fighting with desperation in their hearts.
Yeah, you're going to sacrifice your one Xin Zhao, your mid lane not mid lane, your jungle Xin Zhao, doesn't have a bounty on him. So you get 3 kills on the other side, you lose a tower for it, you may get the tier 2 here. It's all good right now for Ottawa Braves. You're not upset about any of it.
I believe this is also the first AD UTF that we've got to have here inside the MEC.
We keep seeing APTF.
Yeah, but my productions say in week 2, but I remember there being an APTF in week number 2. So I'm going to go with my gut and say that's the thing. But we'll see, as we can see them trying to continue going after Plutz. They will snip them down to size.
Much there.
It's so much, but they are able to find a big kill onto the Pike. They're got Gwen here, who's actually pretty strong at the current moment in time. Dragon was secured. They will disengage. Ottawa Braves just need to back up away from this fight, as they do not want to bite off more than they can chew.
How did Ashe secure that kill? that dragon. Ashe seemed like she was 10 feet, like 20, 30 feet away, and just kind of auto-attacked and made sure that they got the dragon from that.
I do want to know, did Kaiser...
No Xin Zhao there.
Well, here's the thing, right? Xin Zhao, I don't believe smited. But Kaiser did,
Xin Zhao
right?
wasn't there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there was no smite there. I think Kaiser missed the smite. So it's just a very unfortunate scenario. And now a new unfortunate scenario has arisen. You see that they're trying to go in as sacrifice offered. Kaiser just trying to be at the dismay of Ottawa Braves, but 4 members strong into the top lane. Slicing Maelstrom is on Orion. Gwen is splitting, gets bot wave. Pike going around onto the flank. The rotation will lay in a good amount of damage, but almost getting punished. But this is a tricky spot about Pike. You're in a very weird position as a Pike once you get into the spot, because you're kind of like a gremlin lurking in the shadows, looking to get a little kill, getting a little snack, right? You want to be fed after midnight, but everybody from Drury, they're not going to let that happen so easily. So Plutz has to be careful, has to be cautious. And with Prod here in the wings, it makes it that much easier. But Quick Slice now finds Prod. Teleport's coming in from behind Drury. They need to eat what's in front of them first and quick, because the Killian is right behind them. Kennen will rejoin the team back over through the river. They find Yuno. Yuno has to flash out. Killian is still in a bad situation. Slicing Maelstrom isn't up just yet. They do not have that utilized. Orion has it, though. They should probably just go in and use it, but they're being so defensive at this moment. Orion just having memories of the past experience. The fact that the team might not be able to follow up to it does not fully send it. And now Riverside with the flash gold card with that RFC. Got Killian over here across the wall waiting to just grab whoever comes over. It's a scary scenario for Drury.
Yeah, so Cleanse used on Varus right there. It's not the longest cooldown summoner spell, but it's a big one to be missing right now on Varus. He's got no other way to avoid the gold card. So it's a scary time now if you're Varus and there's a TF in your area.
Herald was summoned as well inside the base, so I believe that will just go down mid lane. It will. So they should be able to catch history. You should be able to grab that. But Baron just now spawning as well. Does mean that they can take advantage of this time while they have to deal with Rift Herald going down the mid lane. They can just set up control. They're doing Baron right now, I believe, as the Enchanted Crystal Arrow does find its mark. Look at Killian over here onto the side. They get the stun. The Slicing Maelstrom. Yuno is dead. Another member, the bot lane completely taken out. And just these two members are able to finish up Baron. Drury have no way to contest this.
They're so fed right now. This Ashe and this Xin Zhao are so fed right now. That's all they need to do the Baron. And you see Kennen just poking out Orion as he tries to retreat into his own base. It's impossible to be part of this Drury team right now.
Yeah. And you know what? This is definitely just going to be the inhibitor going down. You have Yuno, Fat Cat have rejoined the fray. They might actually look to end the game, though, because they got this kind of Fat Cat who just got chunked out. They have the chains laid in.
No, they got to back out. So Levi's really low.
Yeah, no, they're not done yet. No, look, Prod is going to go back in. Find another kill. Riverside is fine. Like, they can just keep pushing here. Orion goes down. Now, Quick Slice on the side. Flips around off of the TP flank. Gets the kill onto the TF. Quick Slice looking for a possible trip, but Prod is in the arena right now and is taking on all challengers. Who's next? It's going to be Kaiser, but Prod laying in the groundwork with that spear. Says the spear is mightier than the staff. Is going to continue thwacking away at him. Prod wins the 1v1, and Fat Cat, who died at the very beginning of this exchange, comes back and finally finishes off Prod, who has been a menace inside the base.
Just constant push in the mid lane, right? And now they have to go deal with Killian over in the bot lane, because this Kennen will take down that tower really quick if you let him keep there.
See the teleport
TP.
Yep, TP is here. Going to have Killian go forward with the Slicing Maelstrom, possibly. They do have two members clumped up together, but Killian does not have a great avenue to get onto him at the current moment in time. Enchanted Crystal Arrow was what they were waiting for, and now it's time to call your shot. 4 members grouped up. Slicing Maelstrom tears through the HP bars, but it ends up being just a 1-for-1. Riverside was not in position to follow up, but the rest of the team is here. Quick Slice got overzealous and will be punished. Fat Cat's up next. Orion on the cards, and Riverside jumps in behind, and Kaiser is gone. Ottawa Braves, they said this was never going to be just a tied game between the two. In commanding fashion, they're going to be able to close out game number 2 against Drury. And they got this inhibitor down in the bottom side. Push it on in. They're going to be able to end the game off of this play.
That's it. Their draft, the Ottawa Braves draft felt like it. The first draft felt good. This draft felt better. Right, they wanted to go in a little bit more. They had the twist of fate to get in a little bit better of a go button. That's going to be it. The TP in from the cannon means that everyone else is going to go down. Fat Cat's taking one with him. Oh, wait, hold on here.
Well, they were able
Winians?
to stop
Question
everything. Hold on. I gotta real quick. Riverside did the thing.
Yeah.
Where you sell all your items and buy some. Okay,
He's
he got the
undone that
refund. He got the refund. Okay. He had the Mikhail's Crucible. And I was like, did he step off of everything inside of the game? Because I was just like, what is happening?
That would have been really funny.
That would have been really funny to see him just be stuck with the Crucible if he stepped off. But he did not. Thank you, Riverside, for not doing that. Somebody screenshot that and just be like, dude, Riverside is trolling inside of MEC, and just post that on Twitter. I think that would be a really good thing. But
I think that would be excellent. I see no issues with that. So Ottawa's just taking
he's got
a
a
little
Mikhail
longer to
still.
finish this game.
He's going forward with the Mikhails.
He wants cleanse. He just wants to be able to buy it.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
Are they going to end the game now?
Oh, 100%.
As a
There's no
group.
way they don't. Like, look, Plutz can just kind of run past all of them if he wanted to, and kind of just do things. Prod can't really be contested. Here's the Destiny. One last huzzah for Drury, as Drury will find themselves that huzzah not longly lived inside of this world, as Drury is fighting back with everything inside the tool shed, but you can see a slaughter unfold. Drury completely routed, back to the fountain. Ottawa Braves, they pick up their dub. Killian sold off his item, said, you know what? I'll do what you just did. And there you go. That is just a really good game from Ottawa Braves. I mean, from start to end, they came in with a game plan. They punished the bot lane. And throughout that, they just punished throughout the rest of the map. Everybody was good. But you got to give real credit to Prod in game number 2 for making that happen.
Yeah, Prod was everywhere on the map, right? I said it was cringe at the beginning, but there's no limit of... He surpassed the level of cringe to make it awesome, right? He was just everywhere. He was bot lane when they needed him. He was mid lane when they needed him. Every time a fight started out somewhere, he was there. It's like he had Twisted Fate Ultimate while playing Xin Zhao.
Yeah, no, he was actually like in the right place at the right time, and I love seeing this from Prod, because a lot of people probably looked at Ottawa Braves and they said like big things about like Tritzer's gone, so Ottawa Braves is in a weird place, right, for a lot of people. And Prod coming in, unfortunately, you have big shoes to fill, right? It's the same thing. It's the same storyline that came in from last year, where people were talking about GVU and some of the members they lost, right? This time, it's Prod who's able to prove themselves, show people what's up. They're not just a Belveth player. They can play a lot of different things. They've looked great on the Vi. This time around, the Xin Zhao. Really just insanely good. Just knowing exactly where to be at the right time. Love that from them. And I love seeing this player growth coming out from Prod.
Yeah, it's been great to watch. Watching Prod is really fun right now, because even though he's playing these Xin Zhaos and a couple other these champs, the Vi's, right? But you know that once in a while, he's got this back pocket. He's got the Belveth ready to go, the Kindred ready to go. He's got a bunch of these carried mid junglers ready to rock and roll, that if they decide one day, hey, Killian's going to go play a tank role, he's ready with the jungler.
Yeah. Well, before we end up going on over to our next little interview that we have here with Prod and Riverside, so we'll have the birthday boy and Prod who will be popping off. MEC, you were talking to me before the break about something that you were very excited about.
Yeah, I mean, I love being at LAN. I love esports events in person. And they're more than just a place to compete. It's a social experience. I'm part of a Counter-Strike League Online that went to IEM Dallas last year, and everyone had met each other for the first time walking into the arena. It's a really big social experience. You get to meet all the people you met online. You create memories. And it's one of the best parts about esports. So gamers and their experiences are just one aspect that's covered in Unified's newest offering, Mastering the Arena, People Power Esports. You can read the article down below in chat by using the command !People Power. We'll be back in a minute with the interview.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the MEC. I'm Travesty. I'm joined here with Mecca, and we have Riverside and Prod. Prod, how does it feel to be two people at the same time? Because we only have your face up here. How does it feel?
It feels great because I'm River's father, so it's cool.
Really, man? Really?
Did you wish your son a happy birthday today?
Of course, it's his 19th birthday.
Yay!
All right. Let's go ahead and get into everything. You guys played against Drury, tiebreaker game for y'all. Let me ask real quick. This is going to be for both of y'all. How did it feel going into this series, especially since Riverside had coming in playing? Usually, you guys have Blonde inside the mid lane. Riverside came in. How was the synergy between the two of you? And did you guys do anything before today's game to kind of build that synergy? Since of course you're his father, apparently.
I mean, mainly we were just, vibing as a team, just trying to figure out what roster works best. Was definitely an enjoyable experience, just always fun playing and competing. Other than that, we were just chilling.
That game 2 was pretty good. That was fun.
Got to play ADTF.
Yeah. So we've seen a lot of APTF in the MECs, and I think you're one of you're either the first or the second player to actually go into the ADTF. What's your thought on the AD versus AP kind of thing going around?
I think it's a lot better into melee champs like that game, but APTF, I think still you want to start Doran's Blade because getting push with like WE and like not even putting a point to Q until like 5 or 7 or something is like so good because your Q is just going to be useless and you get so much value out of the W and E on ADTF. But I'd have to try APTF again, but I just feel like AD is like so easy. Like there was a point in the game where I'm just pushing every wave on cooldown and it's like not even like I don't even feel any problem doing that. Like I can just step up by myself. If I get like threatened by anyone, I have gold card and swiftness boots. I can just run away. It's like
so
it just
easy,
feels
right?
so yeah. You feel like Thanos. It's so easy.
It's so good. Like you actually you gold card. You have like Kraken Slayer. You gold card one person. You auto them 3 times, and they're already like half HP. It's like, yeah, dude. Why is anybody playing any other variant of this character?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. It's so good. Prod, I want to ask you about something because this is the first time we actually had you on an interview. How has it felt? You're kind of the new kid on the block onto the team, right? In terms of playing, Trickster was the jungler last year. A lot of people have been talking about like Ottawa's jungle position. You guys didn't scrim for the very beginning. How has the team been coming along for you as a player? And has there been anything that you've kind of had to grow to get used to inside of Ottawa Blazes? I used to call this team like my gremlin team, where they kind of just do a lot of crazy stuff.
I mean, it's definitely been like hard to get used to, especially like moving from home to school, and then us not being able to scrim a lot because all of us are really busy. But the more that we play together and the more that we play as a team, whether it's River mid or Blonde mid, we're definitely like finding our stride, and I think all of us are becoming more confident together as like a team, and I mean I think our gameplay shows it.
The Xin Zhao game, you were everywhere always. And just any time that they were ready to dive someone, you were there. How were you everywhere? How many clones did you have of yourself playing the game at the same time? Because you were everywhere, man.
I mean, it's not very, at least in that game, it was very obvious to tell how they wanted to play. Especially like game 1 with the Zed, he was very aggressive. He wanted to move a lot. And game 2, I felt like it was very easy to abuse his aggression because if there was ever like even like an angle for him to go in, he was always going in. So if I ever had a couple seconds between my clear, I would just go sit there and wait. And thankfully he went in every single time.
Yeah, bro, I was literally like, I'm gonna step up here,
Yeah.
bro. You're like, you have a timer. Like, I'm just gonna make him E at me and he'll die, like, or get a flash. Like, it's pretty easy.
Y'all's comms actually must have been pretty crisp, actually, because there's a lot of really good, like, 4-man dives. But you guys are laughing when I say Chris. So, what are comms actually like for Ottawa? Because I remember last year when I used to interview you guys, and you guys used to argue about who was playing Silas at one point in time. I remember there was, like, a big fight about that. What are comms like for you guys? Are you guys still chaotic inside of comms?
Well, for game 2, it was literally just like, we were just having fun. Like, it was just so much fun. Like, that was the most fun I've had so far this semester in MEC, because Like we just knew it was one from like minute 3 or something, and we were just calling stuff. Like I was building McHale's like on Twisted Fate. Like
That's all.
we saw the full sell and then failure to beat the Nexus. We
and
caught
the
that. Don't
awkward
worry
moment
about
of
it.
like, wait, you guys didn't end?
I was like, guys, I'm gonna leave the base here if you don't end. I was like, guys, I'm about to leave the base. You better end. Yeah, the comms are generally pretty serious. That was the least serious game we've played so far, though. Was that game 2?
Next match you guys have up on Monday is against Cornell College. You guys have any thoughts about your opponents on side of Monday? Or are we gonna expect Riverside, Blonde? Maybe the killer guy comes back in and shows up in the mid lane. Like, what are we kind of expecting against Cornell? Can you spill any secrets to me?
I think Blonde's gonna be playing because I have some scrims and other stuff to do that night, so I'm not gonna be able to play. So it's probably gonna be Blonde, to be honest.
Okay. So
yeah, you can expect him to play.
Rod, do you have any words for Cornell then?
Not really. Just ready to play. Every game, we don't underestimate everybody. Everybody can win. Everybody can perform. We just take everything in stride.
That's what I love to hear. All right. Well, with that being said, any shout outs you guys would like to make to anybody who's been supporting you guys inside of the Twitch chat? You guys were killing it in terms of the chat polls. Every time they polled who was going to win, Ottawa Braves was just on top in terms of it. So you guys had a lot of supporters, even though they don't have a clever hashtag to be able to use for y'all.
Gotta get a clever hashtag.
Prod, you want to go first?
No, you got it, bro. I'll go next.
Oh, well, it is my birthday today, and I had my dad and my stepmom watching, so shout out to them for watching, and shout out to the GVU veterans in the chat who are also watching silently. So appreciate those guys as well. That's about it for me.
I just want to say shout out to my parents because they are the absolute goats and they watch every single game. And shout out to Plux because he's just the best, funniest guy ever. And everybody else who watches and supports us, but especially Plux.
Especially Plutz. Plutz gets the honor from Prod after game is what I'm hearing. Okay. I love to hear that. Well, thank y'all for coming on into the interview. Y'all have a good remainder of your day. We'll catch you guys again on Monday when you go against Cornell College. Until then, take care. Have a great one. And yet again, happy birthday to Riverside.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. It's so good. So good. Ottawa Braves is one of my, I don't know if you knew this, Logan, but Ottawa Braves is actually probably up there like top 2 in terms of like favorite team to interview because they're usually like very chaotic. So I just love that I can get to match their energy. I let my own gremlin come out a bit and I'm like, yes.
What an exciting night of match. I was gonna say a match.
Night of match.
One match of match. No, it was a really good match. Like the first game was really close up until it wasn't. The second game was fun to watch, right? Even if you're a Drury fan, I mean, it's still a fun game to watch because what was going on? Like the Xin Zhao was diving mid every 2 seconds. The Twist of Fate was getting fed, and that totally doesn't talk about the bot lane with Plux being able to just get every single pike hook and them the Ashe grabbing every single kill in the bot lane. It was an excellent game to watch regardless. You'll be back tomorrow night though.
Exactly. So we'll be back at 5 p.m. CST or normal starting time. We only had one match that happened today, but do not be afraid. We'll see Drury again tomorrow actually as they take on their hardest competition in Ohio Northern, who have when I talked to actually some of the other teams, a lot of people were saying, Ohio Northern, yes, they're a 3-0 team. They have had a better schedule to make sure that they get that start. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But we will start things off with our double feature of GVU taking on ONU instead. And so Ohio Northern, they've got 2 matchups coming up tomorrow, actually, to kick things off. Both of them are do or die. Well, not do or die, but big deciding moments, right? Because a lot of people have been criticizing their strength of schedule to start things off. A lot of people have said inside of the MEC pod 2.5 3/4 that we did, that was released over on youtube.com/travesty. You will be able to see shameless plug. I think it was both Castle and Marquez also said, if you're not 3-0, right, with a schedule against teams that are projected weaker against you, you're going to be in a rough spot. So they were criticizing even the strength of schedule. So ONU, if they beat Grandview and then beat Drury, right? Like they automatically shoot themselves up to like 5-0. It's nuts.
Well, just through tomorrow, whoever wins that Grandview ONU game will secure first place, if possibly only for the next hour and a half, depending on how ONU do in their first game and into the second. But we'll see that. And then we've got more matches up on Monday night. But that's going to be it for us for tonight.
Yep. We are done here for tonight. We're good to go. We're going to go ahead and close things off. Thank you all for coming on. And I'm going to celebrate Riverside's birthday by playing ARAM. So if you go on to the Hallowed Abyss, you better watch out. With that being said, my name is Travis C. I've been joined here with Mecca, my boy Logan. We're going to go ahead and catch y'all tomorrow, 5 p.m. Central Time. See you there.